Once again, the Horn of Africa teeters on the edge of conflict. The borderlands between Ethiopia and Eritrea are tense, with accusations and military posturing escalating rapidly. For millions in this volatile region, fear is rising as the threat of renewed war looms. This crisis is not just local. It could destabilize the entire Horn, disrupt Red Sea trade, and draw in global powers. Unlike past standoffs, today's rhetoric is sharper, grievances more exposed, and the stakes higher. Ethiopia accuses Eritrea of arming rebels, shattering their fragile alliance. Eritrea's furious denials and threats have only fueled the fire. The international community is alarmed, but the momentum seems to be toward confrontation. For Ethiopians and Eritreans, another war would be a nightmare, risking decades of progress and unleashing new suffering. As tensions mount, urgent diplomacy, not heated rhetoric, is needed to prevent catastrophe. The speed of this collapse has stunned observers. In 2018, the world watched as Ethiopia and Eritrea embraced peace after decades of hostility. Families reunited, borders reopened, and hope surged, earning Ethiopia's leader a Nobel Peace Prize. But the peace was fragile. Promised economic benefits never fully arrived, and key agreements stalled. The alliance shifted from brotherhood to a tactical partnership during the Tigray War, masking deep mistrust. Once their common enemy faded, old divisions resurfaced, and the peace unraveled. The 2018 deal was a pause, not a solution. Core issues like sovereignty and economic desperation remained. Now the region is reminded that without addressing root causes, even celebrated peace can vanish overnight. The legacy is one of broken promises and renewed fear. To grasp today's crisis, we must remember the devastating 1998-2000 war. Once allies, Ethiopia and Eritrea became bitter enemies, fighting a brutal conflict over the border town of Badme. Over 80,000 died, economies were shattered, and families torn apart. The war's legacy, decades of militarization, suspicion, and a frozen no war, no peace standoff. Ethiopia's refusal to accept a binding border ruling kept tensions alive, justifying Eritrea's harsh policies. The 2018 peace deal aimed to heal these wounds, but the trauma runs deep, in memories, politics, and national pride. Today's hostile rhetoric taps into old grievances, making renewed conflict dangerously familiar. The scars of war have never truly healed, and the path back to violence is all too easy. The immediate spark: Ethiopia accuses Eritrea of arming rebel groups, especially the Fano militia. Ethiopia claims to have intercepted Eritrean weapons, calling it a direct assault on its sovereignty. Eritrea's response is swift and combative, denying all charges and accusing Ethiopia of fabricating a pretext for war. This public war of words escalates tensions, making de-escalation harder. Each side is locked into its position, with national pride and political survival at stake. The cycle of accusation and denial is pushing both nations further from a peaceful solution. Beneath the surface, Ethiopia's quest for Red Sea access drives the crisis. As Africa's most populous landlocked nation, Ethiopia's dependence on Djibouti's port is a strategic vulnerability. Prime Minister Abiy frames sea access as existential, putting Eritrea's sovereignty in the spotlight. Eritrea, fiercely protective of its ports, sees Ethiopia's rhetoric as a direct threat. Ethiopia's internal instability, armed insurgencies and post-Tigray war fractures, compounds the danger. Some believe Abiy is using the external threat to unite a divided nation, while rivals see Ethiopia's weakness as an opportunity. Regional alliances are shifting, with Eritrea, Egypt and Somalia aligning against Ethiopia. Fears of encirclement and isolation are fueling Ethiopia's urgency and aggressive stance. In every conflict, some stand to benefit from chaos. Regional rivals may see war as a chance to weaken Ethiopia and curb its ambitions. Hardliners in both countries could use conflict to consolidate power and silence dissent. The Red Sea's strategic location draws the attention of global powers, each with their own interests. External intervention could turn a local war into a wider proxy conflict. The arms industry, too, profits from instability, adding another layer of complexity. In this dangerous game, the pursuit of power and profit threatens to overshadow the human cost. Ordinary people will pay the highest price if war returns. Border communities, just beginning to recover, would face violence, displacement, and loss. Youth would be conscripted, sacrificing their futures for old grievances. Humanitarian disaster would follow, food shortages, shattered economies, and broken families. The 2018 peace briefly reunited loved ones. Renewed war would bring new waves of separation and trauma. The psychological scars would poison another generation, making lasting peace even harder. The true cost of conflict is measured in lives destroyed, not territory gained. This is the unacceptable price of war. War rarely starts with gunfire. It begins with words. Today, hostile rhetoric and military posturing are laying the groundwork for conflict. Both sides are increasing readiness, creating a hair-trigger situation where a small incident could spark war. Diplomatic channels are closing. Eritrea's withdrawal from IGAD and Ethiopia's mixed signals undermine mediation. Public ultimatums replace quiet negotiation, narrowing the path to peace. The absence of open warfare now does not guarantee peace tomorrow. The world urges restraint, but statements alone are not enough. Without urgent, high-level diplomacy, the momentum toward war may become unstoppable. The window to prevent catastrophe is closing fast. The path to war is easy. Peace demands courage and vision. Ethiopia must focus on internal reconciliation, not risky foreign gambles. Genuine dialogue and stability at home are the foundation for strong diplomacy abroad. Sea access should be pursued through negotiation, not threats. Mutually beneficial deals are possible. Trust can only be built through respectful, quiet talks, not public ultimatums. The international community must move beyond statements and mediate actively, pressing both sides to de-escalate. The stakes, regional stability, global trade, and millions of lives, are too high for inaction. Leaders face a historic choice: return to war, or build a future of cooperation and peace. The sacrifices of the past demand a better future for the next generation. The time to act is now.